So you're thinking about making the move to Sacramento and you're just not sure exactly when to make that move. Well, guys, rates are kind of ticking back up. Inventory, yeah, we have more inventory than last year. Market seems to be a little cold, at least colder than it was last year. And there are things happening in this year, like Jerome Powell leaving his seat in May. Super Bowl is a big one here in the Sacramento area as far as triggering the real estate market. Spring is a big one for us. Summer is a big one for us. So let's talk a little bit about how it's looking in January 2026. We're going to talk about just everything underneath the sun, about what's going on right now. So you get a little bit of real-time information. So if you're thinking about making the move, probably within the next month or two, this broadcast is going to be really important and tell you exactly what the market is looking like. Let's get into the show right now. All right. Hi, guys. How you doing? Hopefully you guys are enjoying a beautiful January. It's cold. Fog is back in Sacramento, as we all know, and it's a little chilly out here too. But for all you people who like to snowboard, ski, I mean, we got an hour and 20 minutes away and you're good to go. So that's going to be fun. We're going to go into the market. A lot of people were expecting, especially since last week, it looked like things were going in a good direction. We're going to talk a little bit about what interest rates look like this week. We're going to talk also about like new home communities, new areas. We're going to talk about everything that you guys need to know about if you're thinking about making the move to Sacramento. If you live in Sacramento and maybe it's your time to upgrade. I mean, what does this market kind of look like? Because it's not your average ordinary market based on what you're seeing in the media. I mean, last week, everyone, every lender, every realtor is going, oh, it's the lowest rates had been since, in 3 years and everything too. Everyone's touting that. Everyone's like printing those t-shirts and everything too. And lo and behold, a couple days later, we start ticking back up. So it is a market right now where you're going to see pockets of opportunity. We're going to see things being blasted out on Twitter, announcements being made that are going to very much impact the bond market, which of course is going to impact interest rates. So just understand that that's kind of the year that we're going to be having this year. Now, the only caveat is May. Jerome Powell is leaving, and whoever comes in probably is going to do some shaking up. And so we probably could see some stuff happen like in April when people are guessing what that's going to look like. And May, you never know. I mean, that's a big thing. Now, in the Sacramento area, what you notice is around football time, for some crazy reason, what we notice is that after football, after the Super Bowl happens, we kind of can gauge our market a little bit too. Last year, I mean, we saw some really nice activity end of December, January, and then February was okay as well too. Everyone was anticipating a huge, huge year, and then it wasn't, right? Now this year, what we're noticing right now is it's a little colder than it was last year, honestly, because we had that little bit of a bump in December, in January and February. So it's a little colder. You are seeing more inventory because inventory started going on the market a lot during the last year, and a lot of sellers just need to get rid of their homes. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now in this market. Now we'll talk about how it bodes for buyers and sellers and all that kind of fun stuff, and we'll go through over some interesting facts. Now I've gone as far as I can go without the glasses, so we're putting them on. All right. Glad I made it. I haven't missed your show since this year 2026 started. I appreciate it. And big shout outs to West Roseville too and JMC Homes. JMC, I got to say straight up, not even joking, JMC has been on fire. We've gotten more requests for JMC Homes in Placer One and West Roseville than ever. JMC is easily that community or the builder that we've been getting more people wanting to see. And so we've been showing a lot of JMC Homes. There's some nice ones in Placer One. Of course, in West Roseville, the same thing. And West Roseville is getting a Costco. Yes. Now, a lot of people watch my show. It's so funny. They're like, oh, there's already a Costco in Roseville. Yes, there is. There is a Costco in Roseville. But now West Roseville is getting their own Costco. In the Sacramento area, I mean, we've got what, like 9 to 10 to 11 Costcos. We got a business Costco, which is amazing, especially if you're me, where you like to barbecue. They got some crazy stuff over there too. So, it's going to be an interesting year, 2026. I think West Roseville is one of those spots that there's going to be a lot of people that are grateful for moving in there in the future. All right. Good evening. Hey, Pamela. Good evening to you as well, too. Any good fourplexes on the market right now? The only fourplexes that I'm seeing on the market right now, I saw one in Citrus and it was picked up real quick. I saw some fourplexes kind of in like the Rosemont, College Glen kind of area. And I think those are nice because, the college is there and it eats up rentals. Fourplexes are hot. The other thing too, I mentioned to a lot of people is that what's called industrial spaces are big now too. My buddy Corey, who I will bring on the show again, he basically mentioned to me is like, look, here's the thing. You got to get more units if it's going to pencil in this market, right? It's not an easy thing to pencil. One is because a lot of investors are thinking, oh my God, look at those new homes. They're offering 2.75s or 3 point whatever interest rates. No. Those are not for investors. Those are not people, those are not rates, those are not incentives geared towards investors. Investors can get, I think the most is 2% off the purchase price of the home. So when you see amazing rates, when you see amazing buy downs and everything too, and you're seeing this stuff and you're saying, oh, I'm going to go to Sacramento and pick myself up an investment property up there, a brand new home, and I'm going to get myself that 4.25 that's being advertised. No, that doesn't work that way. Investors are completely a different category. So just so you guys know, before you make that trek all the way here to Sacramento, just be careful because those incentives do not apply. All right, Wendy, how are you doing? Wendy, who might soon have the best looking door in all of Sacramento, is on the show. Wendy, how are you doing? How's Roseville gated communities, Park Place, and the classics expected to form the spring? Having you represent me when my beautiful house goes on the market when I list in spring. And I am super glad to do that. And anyone who works with us, guys, it is our privilege. It's our, like, we're grateful. Tongue-tied so early on, it doesn't bode well for the show. I am super, super grateful to work with anyone who chooses to work with me. And we, put our best foot forward. And I think those areas, I like Gold River. I think Gold River is good. I think the inventory is a little light in Gold River, but I see stuff moving, and I think gated people like in Gold River. I think, Park Place and the classics are nice as well too. I think those are really, really good communities. Hopefully we don't have too many people eyeing them so we can get you in. All right. Jason, can you get a new Woodside home for $600K in Folsom or El Dorado Hills? No. Yep, that's it. I'm not interested in Rancho or Elk Grove. Thanks, Mark. No, and like I said, here's the thing for me on this channel. There's no upsell. There's no like, oh yeah, date the rate, marry the house. There's no there's none of that stuff here, guys. I'm gonna tell you exactly what the market is looking like. The good, the bad, and the ugly. There's not going to be any of that stuff on this channel. It's going to be basically telling you straight up what it is. So Jason, the only thing that I'm seeing in Folsom, in Woodside, what's called is Shawood. That's pretty much what they're building there. I think Tri-Point is the only thing building. Those are those condos over there. Now, for me, if I was looking at Folsom, I was looking for something maybe in the 600K range or something, and I really loved Folsom, I'd probably be looking at maybe a resale in those Tri-Point communities, what's called those two that we're selling, a couple of years ago, because I know a couple of those are going to pop on the market. And I think, you can probably pick them up for, depending on which one, maybe in the low sixes. I think the Tri-Point built a community also in El Dorado Hills. But for Woodside, I'm not seeing it like 600 in Folsom or El Dorado Hills. And I'm not going to try to sweep you over to Rancho. If you're a guy who's heart set on Folsom, El Dorado Hills, I would say maybe wait a little bit. They're no Woodside. They're a different builder, but I would say that I know Taylor Morrison picked up some land in Folsom and they're going to be building another community there. And their last community had three different, I call them kind of collections, right? One was debut, one was legends, and one was the other one. There's three levels of it. And I know that the debut collection sold out really, really quick. And then the other two ones sold out a little bit, like it took a little while to sell those two. So if Taylor Morrison lives up to what I think they're going to live up to, I do think that their next community is going to be a good one as well too. And I think the price point is going to be probably in the first community debut is probably going to be maybe around the 600s. So that's just something to look out for. All right. Thoughts on Rancho Cordova and Tolia area. I like the new build options and pricing, but highway access is very lacking. Agreed. Not to mention rendering plant nearby. Any plans to improve that? Here's the thing about the rendering plant, and like I said, we keep it 100 on this. I posted a couple polls about this. Some people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. Some people are like, yeah, for me, it's weird that they're going to have Braden on Douglas, and then they're not going to do anything about the rendering plant in Rancho. So I don't know. Hopefully they will. I mean, with that many new homes, and here's the thing, guys, I will tell you this straight up. With that many new homes being built in a specific area, you've got power. I mean, honestly, I would start petitions and stuff and get that stuff going. For me, I think a lot of people maybe don't realize the type of power and like you guys have as far as like moving into the area, Melrose and all that stuff too. I think you guys have power if you guys organize. I've seen up in El Dorado Hills at Toll Brothers at what's called at that community they have. There was a Quick Quack that opened up, or there is a Quick Quack right now. And a lot of people have been complaining that it sounds like a turbine engine at 6 in the morning. And so what do? They went over, they petitioned, they created a Facebook group, and they brought in pretty much, or not a Facebook group, but they gathered, I guess you can say, and they're all together, a bunch of different communities, and they're organizing a way to kind of get rid of the quick whack. So I think that if it was me and I wanted to get rid of something in the area that was like clearly a sore thumb, I would do it. But then again, I would say the rendering plan is definitely subjective. Some people like, some people it affects them, some people it doesn't. No, and I know I got a thumbs down on that, but all I'm telling you is that, I've been out there and I've been out there showing homes a lot. It hasn't been a problem for me. So I don't know. Like it's a hard one to say, but for me, I don't know. I don't know. I would explore it and I would look into the rendering plant and I would figure out the times that they're going to be doing their, I guess they're burning and everything too, and go out there and see what it's all about. And see if it's something that affects you. I know different communities, like in Rancho right now in the Anatolia area, you're seeing where Beezer's building, where it's far away. Elliott by Costco, and then you have the middle area as well too. So I think it's probably on a per community basis as well too. You got to factor in wind and everything too, but that's something I would definitely focus on. But I like Rancho myself. I think the bang for your buck is there. I think incentives are there. Something to talk about Rancho too, and this is really, really interesting for me is I've noticed in Rancho right now, a lot of the builders, like Cressley right now is building like lower price point homes and lower square footage homes. KHOV is always doing that. But what KHOV did is they kind of swung it around. And now with their communities like Canyon and Reserve, they're going after a higher square footage, right? And they're competing against like Bloom by TriPoint out there as well too. And what I'm seeing more than not is that the communities out in Rancho that have the higher square footage, like the Woodsides, the Blooms, and like, what is it? And Reserve and Canyons, they're selling. I mean, they hit a niche market in there for people who want Rancho and want a bigger home. And both Canyon and Reserve, if you walk in them, those are different products that I've seen KHOV deliver out there as well too. The product is a lot bigger, higher ceilings, higher hallways or wider hallways and everything too. So if it was me, and I wanted Rancho, I would honestly, and I wanted a bigger home, I would probably head over to Reserve, head over to Canyon. I really like Canyon. That elevation, we just got into a client into like one of these homes. It was a single story floor plan. I kid you not, the elevation outside, which is like the facade of the outside of the home, looks like a castle. The coolest elevation I think I've seen in the Sacramento area, bar none. Beautiful house, beautiful house. And then Reserve has a Mykonos, which is really nice as well. I mean, there's some nice communities. And then you switch it over to Bloom, and Bloom, guess what they're building right now? Guess what quick move-ins they have? They have none. In the community that I featured on this channel, those models, those big ones that I was telling about, like that large backyards, they're literally all sold out. So now they're selling dirt. I think the earliest one is going to be like an April release and everything too. Bloom has been a great price point, great floor plans, and they're just crushing it here in Rancho. And as far as like the Mykonos and the Canyon communities as well too, those higher square footages are doing great. I actually think Cressley screwed up a little bit by kind of going down to a lower price point and a lower square footage. I think they were so nice at the square footage they were at, that I think that they really, I mean, I think they're analyzing, their analysis of the area was completely wrong, because if you go to Rancho right now and you see the smaller homes, there's quick move-ins. There's a lot of them. Beezer, Woodside, TriPoint, Lennar, Ellie, and everything too. But the bigger ones, those things are flying. Those things are moving. You go to TriPoint, Bloom, they're going to tell you they're building dirt. You go over to like KHOV as far as Reserve and Canyon, those are the ones that are flying off the shelves. And there are other products. What is it? Silverbrook, I think it is. That's not moving at all. So it's interesting to see how kind of Rancho is developing. Now for Rancho, yeah, you're completely right. As far as like, highways lacking, you got the connector that's coming in, and I don't know exactly when that's going to be finished, but you do have the back roads. What is it? Anatolia, Rancho, you're about maybe 12 minutes of Folsom. To get into Zinfandel, where there's some shopping, you got about maybe 10, 12 minutes as well too. To get to the Costco, about 10 minutes. But again, I tell people this all the time, like Folsom wasn't just Folsom. Roseville wasn't just Roseville. It took a lot of time, and a lot of the people right now who like invested in Folsom and Roseville are cashing in because they were some of the first people to move into the area. For me, I like the Rancho area. I think the parks, the communities, they're building a new middle school, then they're going to be building a new high school. I like that area. I think it's developing. I think it's growing. I think that there are a lot of people who are going to be lucky that they moved into that area. And I think also when you do move into an area, there's always pros and cons to every single area you move into. So you just have to weigh them and see if there's something for you. I mean, I showed a couple people Shawood. What was it? Maybe about 3 weeks ago, and I was showing them the houses and everything too. And we're talking about the 50, and they're like, I don't care about the 50 noise at all. I don't hear it in the house. I'm good. So I think that areas, house styles, communities, I think you really need to go out there and kind of feel them out a little bit and see if they work for you. Hopefully the tours that I'm giving you are a little bit of a base. I don't want to, like, here's the thing. If you see my home tours and you have a question about the floor plan specifically, call me up. Call me up anonymously. I don't upsell, but call me up if you want questions about the floor plans I'm delivering. But if it's me, what I look at it as these videos that I'm doing, these like tours, they're kind of primers for you guys. They're kind of like, you look at it, you say, oh, I like this. This looks interesting, but I'm going to go there myself and I'm going to walk into the home. And that's what you should be doing. You should walk in there directly and vibe it out. I mean, and just feel it out for yourself and go like, do I like the carpet? How do I feel the laminate? The upgrades, what are the different like styles? And here's the thing also, some of the models that, or some of the floor plans that they're selling, usually if a community has like maybe four floor plans, they're only modeling two of them. There could be two other floor plans that you don't even know about that you could walk into some quick move-ins and you might like those floor plans even better. So the videos I do, hopefully you guys enjoy them. Hopefully you guys like them. Use those as primers and just kind of understand that there's more up here. And hopefully you will choose our team to work with because we are running around like crazy, showing a bunch of new homes, resale homes. Alana just put one into contract in Elk Grove in like, I don't know, 2 days or something with multiple offers. And she went way over asking. So we do it all in the Sacramento area, whether you're looking at Davis, Rockland, Grant Bay, Roseville, Folsom, East Sacramento, all that stuff too. So hopefully you guys, we'd love to work with you. Okay, boom. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Hey, I lost connection last week and I'm glad that your feed just showed up again. Good, I'm glad. Lori, welcome to the show again. Greetings. All right. Hey, do you have any hidden information on Shawood? They're going to build in Lincoln location, lot sizes, etc. Jason, just for you, I'm going to cruise up to Folsom. I'm going to talk to Cameron and see if I can get you a little bit more intel on that. I do think, though, that I'm going to have a little bit more availability on the Roseville one because that's going to be first before Lincoln. So any information I get, I'm going to relate to you guys. For example, like a Toll Brothers at Bigford, they got 2 other communities that are being developed out there. And my guess is that Shawood, the Lincoln one, is probably going to be somewhere close to Liberty. That's just my own I would rather build over. If I was a community or if I was a builder, Bigford special assessments are still rather high over there too. If it was me, I would probably build closer to Liberty, where I think the special assessments are they're a little bit lower. So I don't know. I think that's my gut where they're probably going to build around that area, but I'll find out for you on the Roseville. Hopefully I can get some information on Lincoln as well too for you. All right. How's K-Hov's build quality? I've seen so many bad reviews on Reddit. Honestly, here's what the thing about K-Hov. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for something and, you're looking for something like 400s or 500s, you've got to go and really inspect the homes and just make sure it's the quality you want. I'd say go into some quick move-ins and everything. Quality is a little, and I know I lean into this a lot, but it's very subjective. Various builders. I always tell clients, like feel the door weight, check out the granite size and all that stuff too. And just go into some quick move-in homes. That's what you're going to get if you decide to purchase one of these homes. I would say as far as like quality itself, K-Hov in Rancho area, I've met a bunch of the superintendents. I've moved in a ton of people at K-Hov in the various communities and everyone seems really happy with their homes. I do think right now though, like K-Hov's kind of, okay, so let's backtrack a little. K-Hov had this luxury development in Lincoln. It was called, I think, Creekside or something like this. And it was beautiful. It was a luxury community. It was awesome. So then they downshifted a little bit when they built in Rancho. They started building more of the affordability, like 450s, 500 homes. And they just kind of killed the market in Rancho for a while because what you notice is they were building in the 4s and 5s where like they're competing against Premier Homes, who's building like in the 7s and 8s. Cressley was doing the same thing. They were kind of the only builder kind of doing that. And so then the market kind of shifted towards the smaller homes. And so K-Hov was pumping them out, cranking up these communities. Now, as far as the homes go, I think the only thing that was negative about what KHOV did is because of the price point, a lot of investors purchased the homes. What I'm seeing in KHOV and what I'm seeing in Rancho in general is that if you're someone who maybe bought a brand new home, it's not an easy thing to sell it now because you're competing still against one of the areas that have the best incentives in the Sacramento area. Now let's flip it back to what you said about KHOV. Now, coming back to KHOV, they were building these 400, 500, communities like, Paseo and everything too, where they're kind of focusing on affordability. And now they kind of flipped it up a little bit. And if you go into Canyon and Reserve, all of a sudden it just feels different, right? Again, subjective completely. But if you go into the Mykonos floor plan, if you go into one of the Canyon floor plans, you're just going to feel a different kind of flavor than you've seen from KHOV. And that's kind of what we showed because we had a couple clients who were I'm not sure about KHOV. We're not sure about KHOV. And then they saw the tour that I did and they're like, well, we want to look at KHOV. And they were kind of blown away by Canyon. So was I when I was doing those model tours as well, too. KHOV's product right now, those communities, if you go see it, go check out like what's called Silverbrook, but then also go check out Canyon and go check out Reserve. Even if it's not the price point you're looking at, you can just gauge the different level of quality between those communities. So for me, I think KHOV is a reputable builder. I think that they have a great reputation in the Sacramento area, but I also think that majority of builders here in Sacramento, maybe not KB, maybe not DR Horton just yet, but have levels of building. I mean, even Taylor Morrison, they have like a level of building. I mean, their debut collection was basically kind of a bare bones, smaller granite, smaller tiles, you know what I mean? And then their like Legends collection was like a completely different product. And if you go to like Wild Hawk, a lot of the homes there too, you're going to see them and they're just like more of their like entry level product. But there is that idea where people are like, well, it's entry level. It's still a good quality home, especially if you go through inspections and everything too. It's just the fact that like, what are you willing to pay for a home? And that's the thing. I think like in the Rancho area, if you're looking between like 450, maybe like 550, 600, you're probably going to get like, something around maybe 1,800 to 2,000 square feet, a little bit smaller size of bedrooms. You know what I mean? You'll probably have a little bit more, the grant won't be as high. The doorways and it will be a little shorter and everything too. And you can just tell the little bit of the things that they kind of switch around. I mean, even TriPoint's product, if you go to TriPoint and look at the first couple communities and then go to Bloom, the product is definitely changing. So I wouldn't say that, coming back to KHOV, I wouldn't say that, you got to really figure out exactly which KHOV community they're talking about as well too. Because, if you're looking at a KHOV community like Paseo, that's maybe selling for like 450, you have to ask yourself, like, are you expecting a Toll Brothers home at that price point? It's not going to factor in. Right. And so, and even like Toll Brothers, they have products too, like Oak Trails is one level of product. And then Heritage is another level of product. If you go to Oak Trails, you're going to see some 10-foot bedrooms and it's uncharacteristically Toll Brothers. And then if you flip it over and go to their other community, you're going to see these like 12-foot bedrooms that are a lot bigger. So I think each builder has a different kind of products. And I think that that's what they might be calling out on Reddit. But again, I go back to the thing, it depends on how much you're willing to pay, and, I think check out the superintendent, go to some quick move-in homes, talk to the community that lives there actually, and just say like, hey, how do you like your home? Do you like the quality? Was the superintendent good? Do you like your house? I mean, I think those are things that a lot of people who don't move into communities do. I mean, you got to understand, like when you go see communities, there's people walking around all the time. It doesn't take too much to walk up to someone and say, hey, I'm thinking about buying a home here. How's your experience? How do you feel about the quality of the home that you received? Little things like that go a long way. And you'll always see people walking around these communities. And I think that like, doing that will give you a little bit more of assurance whether you're, going in or, whether you're going to purchase or not. I'd also say forums like Reddit. I mean, even Amazon. I mean, how many times have you guys gone to Amazon and you've seen something that's like amazing? You're like, oh my God, this pen is amazing. There's always going to be negative reviews on it. I myself would rather trust someone who actually went through the process with the builder, bought a house, living in the community, and exactly what do you think of the house? How is your build process? How did that work for you? Would you recommend them? Those are the people I'm actually looking to get the reviews from. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully I didn't go crazy on that too. All right, what kind of programs are best for first-time home buyers as far as help with down payments? Any info would be great. First time home buyer, I would say number one is look towards grants. Grants are usually the best programs, and normally mortgage brokers don't go to B of A's, don't go to Chase. B of A has been killing me lately, so I apologize, B of A, but go to mortgage brokers specifically. Why? They have access to all sorts of programs, right? We're like, one bank only has access to the bank's programs. I'm a big fan of going to a mortgage broker. Go to someone local. We all have connections. We all know each other. We always do business with each other. It's easier to get your offer accepted with local. Now, I would say, so there are some great grant programs out there. And if you want to offline, I can forward you to a mortgage broker that can tell you all about them. I would say, though, first-time home buyer programs are very sticky. If they don't have the word grant on them, they're pretty much like, if you kind of like calculate them out, sometimes they could end up being more. That's kind of my thought on the first-time home buyer programs. Grants are good. Programs are not that great. So that's just my experience with them. Again, though, I'm not a lender, but I can definitely put you in touch with a couple that can tell you exactly about the programs, the grants, which ones are pros and cons for you. Feel free to reach out to me and I'll send you a couple your way. All right. Boom. You checked out the KB Homes on Watt Avenue in Antelope. Thoughts on the builder in the area? It's called Villas at the Preserve. Yeah, Villas. Okay. One is like, I like Antelope. I like the area of Antelope. I think, it kind of bleeds into West Roseville a little bit too. I like that community. The funny thing about Villas is, I mean, they sell pretty well over there too. And it just, they don't really do great incentives. But I like the product. I thought it was nice. I walked in there too. I think for the price point, I thought it was a pretty good product, honestly. I think that the Melrose, I forget what the Melrose were. I think the Melrose might have been something that threw a red flag up for me as well, too. I think they were higher than West Roseville or the communities near it. I could be wrong, like I said. But actually, I like that community. The only thing about the community, like, is it just, the incentives weren't there. Or at least when I was there last, they weren't giving out good incentives. And for me, I was like, well, okay, if you're not going to give out good incentives and there's communities 5 minutes away that might be a little higher price point, but they're giving me amazing incentives, like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And that's the thing. Incentives are, you guys in like Rancho, like we just put a client into a house in one of the communities by KHOV, and they got a 3.75 interest rate. So for me, incentives are everything at this point. Unless, of course, Jerome Powell leaves the office and interest rates go down. I don't see it happening. But at the same time, I think buy down programs, incentives are major right now, and I would much rather, and that's kind of why resale at this point is kind of still not fantastic. I mean, what, you're going to buy a house for $700,000. You're going to maybe get a buy down, and you can do a seller credit, but at the same time, I mean, let's just say you're doing a normal transaction for a resale home. What, your interest rate's going to be somewhere like 6.25 or something, as opposed to like jumping into a new home, getting a bigger home, getting a more energy efficient home. Yes, you got to pay Melrose, but you might be getting somewhere between a 4 or 5% interest rate, saving at least like $1,000 a month. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I think that's why new homes are so popular right now. And we'll talk a little new homes in a second. All right. But getting back to what you said, I like KB Homes. I thought they were good. The only thing is the incentives just weren't there for my clients. And so we moved them into something in West Roseville where the incentives were there. Boom. Thank you. P.S. Did you hear Shawood bought land off Barton and Grant Bay? Loomis, they're going to build on. Woo! 1 acre lots. Jason, I got to have you on the show. You're knowing more. Okay, hold on. I got to cut and paste that thing because that is big news. Okay, so for me, that is exactly where they should be building. Okay. I think where they first built in Folsom was not a good move. I think the homes are absolutely beautiful and gorgeous and everything too. But I think that the area you just mentioned right now, that's where I would like to see Shawood building. So yeah, I think that's gonna be good. I think we're entering an age also in the Sacramento area where bigger homes are kind of dominating the market. I mean, they have for a little bit, but I would say like, you're looking at Dorado and we're talking like acre lots, Toll Brothers. I mean, there's a couple other acre lot communities coming out. So I think we're taking advantage of the land. And I think that a lot more communities are going to be land, like, giving acre lots in the future, which I think is what we want. I mean, myself, one of my biggest gripes always been about like not enough land. And I throw up videos now and again and I embellish maybe a little on my video and say, oh, look at the land. in comparison to the other builders. But for the most part, like it would be nice to have that option to have like a half acre or an acre if you're buying a home. I mean, for me, that would be amazing. And I don't even mean that I would want that big old like 6,000 square foot home, but the idea that like, just get yourself maybe a 225, 3,000 square foot home and have just some land, have some separation. You know what I mean? Have some separation, have some privacy. I think that a lot of people like that and it would be so good. Oof, man. Okay, Jason, you made my evening. Are you hearing that single family home buyers have an easy time filing their ADUs with tenants or filling? Sorry. Again, I'm going too early. I'm sorry, guys. I've had a rough transaction in Folsom that's just really bumming me out. So I'm trying my best. Are you hearing that your single family home buyers are having an easy time filling their ADUs with tenants? I think rentals are still, I haven't heard anyone complaining about filling rentals. I mean, my buddy Ben, who does high end rentals, he rents stuff out for like $15,000 a month, like that in 2 weeks, done, gone. So yeah, no, I think rentals are still good. I mean, what you're going to notice too, whenever you see interest rates that are, higher than we want them to be, I know it sounds kind of weird, but like, we're in the sixes and no one's happy with that. You see a lot of people that aren't able to afford, even first time home buyers, or even like, people who are looking for first time homes, everyone's got to rent for a while. And I think a lot of people too, what we're noticing more than anything is that, a lot of people moving into the area are choosing to rent first as opposed to buy immediately. I'm getting a lot of people that call up and they're like, "Hey, Mark, we're going to rent for about a year, take a look around the area, and then we're probably going to buy a home." Which, I mean, I don't know if that's too bad of an idea as well. I mean, if you don't have the time to research an area, get educated, take tours, and go out there, I mean, I'd probably be in the same boat with you. If I couldn't at least do like 2 or 3 good weekends out here, or two, like a good amount of time, it depends on how many areas you're looking at that I felt comfortable buying a home. Renting probably wouldn't be a bad option. I know it goes against all realtors right now, and any realtors watching this are probably going to want to strangle me. But I do think though, that if you're moving into a new area, you don't have the time to research spots and everything too. Renting a spot for maybe like 6 months to a year while you're out there looking around makes a lot of sense. So I don't know. But yeah, as far as I go, like as far as the people I've been talking to, no one's been having a hard time filling rentals. No, the only thing that I am running into is a lot of investors who are buying homes. They're filling them, but not with the rents that they want to fill them for. Nothing is really like single family is just so hard to pencil these days. I'm waiting on the sidelines for better rates. Guitar and synths, I'm waiting for better rates for you as well too. And then we're going to get you into a mid-century modern home. What do you think? String Brothers, here we come. All right, why is Melrose so high for Toll Brothers when they're building in Rockland? The area is already developed with schools, parks, shopping, etc., and with no plans of adding on. I don't know. I mean, for me, I look at that and I'm just like, I don't get it. Bickford, I get, right? Bickford, there's the fire departments, police departments, parks, all that stuff too. I have zero clue why Toll Brothers and Rockland's Melrose is so high. And I think that they're actually hurting a little bit right now. And, also Melrose can be taken on, a bigger part can be taken on by the builder. So I think that, that just probably wasn't a good idea for them to do. I think that they probably were aiming that they would be selling out left and right to doctors who need to be close to the 80. But again, for me, and this is just my own personal preference, I really like Toll Brothers. I like the ones at Bickford, the special assessments. Of course, it's not my favorite thing in the world. I like the one at Hidden Ridge because of views. I like Skyline. But there is something about the one in Folsom. There is something about the one in Rockland where you don't have the views and the houses seem a little cramped together. And like in this Rockland one, it just seems like the Melrose are high for no reason. I agree with you. I do not know why that is. All right. Can you help me buy a home as an investment? Not for a primary resident. Tell me the difference. Okay. So if you are buying an investment property, you have to get investor rates. So they're higher. It tends to be a little bit of a pain right now with interest rates being so high. I mean, let's say for a resale home, you could maybe get like a 6.25. Probably for the investment property, you'd have to add like a point to that. So like 7.25 or 7.3 or something like that to get an investment property. And that's just kind of how it normally works. And for investment properties, you got to go 20% down as well too. They're not terribly bad in the Sacramento area normally, but because our year over year appreciation wasn't great. I mean, in fact, it probably dipped a little bit, and it's just a hard thing to pencil. So when you start factoring in numbers, we've been just working with a lot of investors right now, where they just can't make it pencil. Single family at this point, it's hard to pencil single family homes. Where you're going to be able to pencil stuff is probably like quads, if you can jump on one that makes sense, and higher unit, dwellings. And don't get me wrong, I would love to sell you an investment property. I mean, honestly, but at the same time, I believe in kind of doing good business. And with the rates as they are right now, I mean, we can talk a little bit and talk numbers and show you kind of what I mean on paper. But if you saw it, because the majority of investors want to basically buy rental property and then have the rent pay for the mortgage. And in this market that we're in currently right now with interest rates, it's just not. I mean, it's just not an easy thing to do. I mean, it's really, really difficult. And that's why people leverage, renting out rooms or like renting out like, quads or something like this. And here's the thing, you can rent out rooms. You can do the traveling nurses and everything too. But it's just not an easy thing to do at this point just because the interest rates are so high. But like I said, how we work on this channel is being completely transparent. If you want to reach out to me and we can talk a little numbers and I'll show you, and then if it still makes sense for you, we can do it. But it's just a hard thing to pencil at this point. I mean, I'm talking to a lot of people who want to buy properties, investment properties, and we're working through it. We're looking at the numbers. We're seeing if it makes sense. And, how can I say this? Like, what like Dave Ramsey always says, right? He's like, I don't really care about the rent. The rent is a cherry on top of the sundae. What I'm looking for is appreciation. And because we've been seeing year over year, as of the last couple of years, appreciation hasn't been that great. It's just not a great market to buy an investment property at this point. But like I said, reach out. We can do some numbers, but keep it 100 on this channel. All right. What were the prices on those KB homes? I think they were actually in the fives, and I think they went up to the sixes as well too. Last time I went, which was maybe about 6 months ago, they could have gone higher as well too, but they were like, I think because we were showing people Meritage because Meritage was still building there and they were building in the fives and low sixes. And I think KB, we went there as well too, because we were thinking if the incentives were right, they might be able to get something in Antelope. And I think fives and sixes, I think that's what we were looking at. And again, you're going to go there and you'll probably run into the same problem I ran into, where you go there and the incentives aren't just going to be, they're going to be okay. They're not going to be anything special because they're selling. And then you're going to jump over to another community in West Roseville, 5 or 6 minutes away, and they're going to have better incentives for you. So that'd be that. All right. Most people at work live in a tiny 1,200 square foot home downtown. All right. I can afford $2 million for a home. Probably need to wait until retirement to sell my home here and buy in rural Nevada for cheap. Here's the thing for me, guitars and synth. I will tell you this. If it's me and I'm saying to myself retirement, I'd be looking somewhere like Grass Valley. I like Grass Valley. I think Grass Valley is cute. I think it's kind of out there. I think there's some areas too, a little bit more rural. I like Placerville as well too. That would just be me. I mean, the homes there, you can get a lot of land. You can get a nice home out there as well too. I don't know. That's just my style. Maybe do an animal rescue. I love it, Mark. Yep. That's the goal. Hey, I got you on my radar, man. All right. How's Natomas looking like? Natomas is soft. It's been soft for a little while. I think North Lake kind of set the tone for Natomas going soft. I think if North Lake didn't come in the way they did and how aggressive they came into Natomas, I think Natomas would be a little stronger of a market, but I think it's soft. I see a lot of stuff sitting in Natomas right now. I think I like the Natomas area. I think, you do have flood insurance, but you're right between the airport and you're right between downtown Sacramento for Airbnbs, for rentals. You can still probably get something in Natomas for like high 4s, low 5s. Is it going to pencil? No, not with the interest rates, but I still like that market. But I just think that one of the things that really kind of crushed Natomas was the aggressiveness of like North Lake. And I think like Lennar right now, I mean, I've talked to a bunch of people and I've driven through the community myself. It just doesn't look like it's kind of an eyesore out there right now too. So I don't know, hopefully they move some properties and get Natomas back to where it is. Cause I like Natomas. I think Natomas, the location is fantastic. Price point was great. Rentals was great as well too. Westlake, one of my favorite communities out there as well too. It's just, North Lake killed me here. All right. With the lottery, I won an old Reagan mansion. Ooh, okay. All right. Hey, I'm telling you, man, crazier things. Is commuting to San Francisco twice a week ideal? No. Just realistic. I used to do that a long time ago. I used to go to Marin County. And I used to go there twice or three times a week. It depends on how much of a road warrior you are. For me, what was it? I'd have to get up at I'd have to leave by like 5 or 5:30. And then I'd have to come back and I'd have to leave maybe like around 1-ish to come back because the traffic cycles, oof, traffic is a nightmare getting there. It's like you got to go deal with the causeway, which is brutal right there. Causeway is always packed with traffic. Then you got to go deal with Davis traffic. And for some crazy reason, Davis is always traffic on both sides. Then you got Vacaville traffic because the connection to Benita, all that stuff. Then you got Fairfield traffic. And then you got like the 80 connecting with the 37. For me, it was just a nightmare. And it wasn't fun to do at all. So that's just my 2 cents. Now, what I would check out on something that wasn't around when I was doing the commute was that new Amtrak station that's in Elk Grove. That could make it a little bit easier for you. But again, if you can work your own hours, if you can kind of go in here and there and you don't mind commuting at those times, I think it's doable. I don't think it's ideal in any shape or form. One of the things that always got me was the idea that the more time I'm spending on the freeway, the more chance I am of getting into an accident. And that really got into my head for a while. I was like, man, it's like, going to work and commuting that long on the freeway. And it's not my driving. It's, you don't know there are a lot of accidents that I witnessed when I was driving there. And I was just like, I just didn't want to do that to myself. So that was it. So, hopefully that didn't scare you too much, but that was how I felt about it. All right. You have any info on KB at Rosemont? How does that resale look like at Rosemont currently? I would say, okay, here's the thing about Rosemont, the Rosemont area is for rentals, I like that area, right? For the rental, like if you can buy something in the Rosemont area for, let's say like 430, 440, I don't know, you can probably rent it out for between 25, 27. And the rental return is great there because all the college kids kind of eat up the rentals, right? And as far as appreciation, Rosemont, College Glen does not appreciate as much as other areas like your Folsom and Elk Groves. So it depends on what you want, right? And that's one of the things about Sacramento that kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say messes with people, but it kind of messes with investors. You either go the appreciation route where you just suck it up and you buy something in Folsom, or you end up like, Folsom, like Elk Grove, and you just go competition and you just grab the home and you just go for it. And those areas will give you both appreciation and a good rental rate. But if you're looking in the 400 to 500s, it's a hard thing to find a good rental return and appreciation on a unit. Rosemont, what I've seen is, I think rentals, I think you're good. As far as appreciation, it just doesn't do historically. It hasn't been one of those areas that's like, oh my God, it's gone crazy in the Rosemont College Glen area. So hopefully that helps. Boom. Grass Valley is nice. Oh, and also I will find some information on those KB homes and bring you some prices, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. All right. Grass Valley is nice. What are your thoughts on Sutter Creek? Ooh, I like Sutter Creek. All good. Been min-maxing my investments to the future will be solid. Good for you. That's one thing that I've been doing as well too. Did some good stocks last year with AI. So I'm doing the same thing. Sutter Creek, I like. For me, I just, my end goal is I just want to get a nice piece of property somewhere, in the foothills or something. Do the show, maybe expand my reach in my, my area, maybe Northern California real estate. And then have an animal rescue up there. So that's my goal. But Grass Valley is definitely a target of mine. Now, why do I like Grass Valley? Okay, I'll tell you this. Grass Valley was hot for a while. Land was being purchased, right? Because all that, the green stuff was being grown up there, right? But since regulations changed and everything became legal and everything too, all the land up in Grass Valley is being sold dirt cheap. And so for me, I'm like, why not buy a little land up there? And then just slowly by slowly, maybe kind of build something really cool, kind of on maybe like an acre or two, maybe even go higher, 3 or 4 acres, something up there. I think that would be cool. Maybe even like a little ranch style home. And yeah, my dream, dog rescue. Too many dogs out there that don't have good homes. All right. Boom. Boom. The Bay Area commute from Sac was not fun. Yeah, it's just not. Oh, come on. I like Rosemont. All right, guitar. And since Minatomas, over 1,900 square foot pool and extra space for rental on site, 75 to 900K, mine in between. Oh, Ooh, very nice. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. Getting up there, fire insurance. I know. I'm with you. But a guy can dream, right? You might, hey, I might just end up staying in Gold River as well too. But the funnest thing about, I'll tell you one thing about being in real estate. One of the funnest things about real estate is that you go show properties in various areas and you get to like look at these houses and you get to kind of imagine the type of lifestyle you might have if you bought something like that. And that's one of the funnest things about real estate. I tell you, a lot of people are more about the checks and the I'm a top producer and everything too. For me, it's just about like these cool houses, cool areas, and just my imagination about like, what if I did buy like 2 acres here? What if I did buy that? Or what if I did move here? Those are some of the funnest things. And Sacramento is a great area to have that because there's so many different areas and lifestyles out here. All right. Boom. Yep. All right. The risk insurance, but I love Grass Valley. It's a music and art flavor paradise. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. You know, I like that. All right, we need a builder to do a whole neighborhood of single-story homes, maybe homes in the 600 to 2,300 size, 700 to 800K range, would sell out fast. 8 neighbors looking in my backyard. And I'm going to add a topper to that, Jason. Mid-century modern. I kid you not. If anyone's listening to this podcast tonight and just is a builder, do a mid-century modern community in Sacramento. It would kill. It would be amazing. Can you imagine a mid-century modern community in Sacramento? Not only would it get press, it would get so much attention, and we love our mid-century modern here in Sacramento. So it would do great. Mark, I talked to an insurance person, see where the fire hydrant is, and Claire, at least about a football field or a half football field around your house that helps lower. I know. Here's one of the things that was laughable, and I'll go into this. I was doing this transaction in Folsom. I was trying to tell the realtor on the other side of it how amazing it was to have a fire hydrant right next to your house, and she didn't get it. It completely blew me away. Clear, yeah. Oh no, fire hydrant. Ooh, yeah. MCM is my favorite home architecture style, and surprisingly hard to find. I know. Could you imagine if they built? I mean, okay, check this out. A mid-century modern community, you know, like 1,600, 2,300 square foot homes. Really nice, because mid-century modern is really like a simple style. And they had a clubhouse that was also mid-century modern, like a clubhouse, old school pool, Palm Spring-ish. Oh, that would be so cool. Ooh, I'd love that. All right. Agreed. Tired of all the white box homes with beige floors. Hope we're done with the modern farmhouse pad soon. I keep seeing it, man. I keep seeing it. Modern farmhouse. Personally love mid-century modern, but I've seen a few flippers go into foreclosures because no one bought them. Really? Man, tell those flippers to give me a call. I'll advertise them for free on this channel. By the way, guys, I know that you might not have worked with me selling your home, but if your house is sitting on the market and you want to do a little promotion on it, send it my way. Good old Mark will put it on the channel and advertise it for you so we can get it sold for you. We've had really good luck on YouTube, guys. YouTube has been such a blessing for selling homes. I just like all the white kitchens. I know. How about gray and white? That's hopefully going out soon. We'll see. All right. So I got some slides for you guys as well, too. Okay. So where are we at as far as rates go? Last week, we're going down. We're going down. This week, oh, we're going back up. We're going back up. We're going back up. Man, I'll tell you something. The media has never been so much about me moving markets. I mean, you know who goes out there and announces about the Fannie Mae buying bonds and everything too, and we dip and then we go back up. It is absolutely crazy how the media just can manipulate the bond market, which in turn affects the interest rates. It's completely unbelievable to me. Closest thing to new construction MCM is Shawood models with the atrium. Ooh, yeah, I know. Oh, those atriums. Eichlers. Ooh, yes. Sign me up. That was really beautiful. That Shawood home even smelled nice. I love everything about Shawood. I'm glad they're building more homes like that. And hopefully we get more of that. All right. Looks like the Trump 50-year mortgage plan went kaput. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Half the time I'm wondering if we're freaking buying Iceland or Greenland or I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. Okay, let's get into some of the stuff. Let's talk Folsom. Okay, so again, this is it. Check this out. This was last Friday or last Thursday or last time we did the show. And then this. So as we know, media moves the market like crazy. Now, I want to bring in some stats for you guys as well too, as far as like last year, some of these areas. Can't be here without a pool. Too hot. Oh man, I love my swimming pool. My swimming pool is actually even looking good right now in winter. So I would say hot tub, swimming pool. I'm totally with you. All right, here we go. Boom. Let's go into some of these areas. Folsom. Here's how we did last year. Okay, so this is kind of what it was since last year. It was up a little bit. Folsom did decent, right? Folsom went up a little bit, and Folsom tended to be like one of those markets that Folsom always does really, really well. There weren't as many houses sold, but for the most part, 46 days, Folsom did decent as far as the market goes. Elk Grove, medium sales price went up just a tad. Our number of houses sold decreased as well too. Median days on the market increased to 55 days. Okay. And in Folsom, it increased as well to 46 days. Not too shabby, but El Dorado Hills, they dipped a little bit in the medium home price. All right. So as we know, El Dorado Hills, people are freaking out about certain things, as we all know what those are. Number of homes sold, that increased. That's bizarre. And the median days on the market decreased. Ooh, interesting. But the median sale price decreased. So that's El Dorado. So El Dorado, I mean, it's bizarre, huh? Number of homes sold increased. Median sales price decreased. So maybe it's people start reducing prices earlier in the year. All right. I like that. Roseville, though. Roseville was the all-star as far as last year goes. Look at that. Median sales price increased. Number of homes sold year over year increased. Median days on the market, yeah, okay, that went up, but at the same time, it wasn't a great year for anybody. So Roseville, I think, was a winner, and then Sacramento in general. Oof, and this is the Sacramento proper area. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Median sales price went down. Number of homes sold went down. Median days on the market increased. So Sacramento proper, it did not have its greatest year. Here's El Dorado right here. So the median sales price in El Dorado decreased year over year, 1.6, it went down. Number of homes sold increased. So actually there were more homes sold in El Dorado last year than the year before. And median days on the market actually decreased a little bit. So that's kind of a weird statistic right there. So El Dorado, I think maybe reducing the price point, maybe a lot of the listing agents were listing a little bit lower. Maybe some people got smart and just dropped it down. I don't know. El Dorado, well, here's the thing about El Dorado Hills. Love El Dorado. It's fantastic. But as we've all seen, PG&E prices have been going up and people are freaked out about home insurance. Home insurance is creeping in all sorts of parts of everywhere. And so, if I'm moving to areas like that are a little bit more out there, or even areas, I mean, honestly, even there's some areas in even Folsom and Roseville and everything too, just make sure your home insurance, you check what the quote looks like, and don't go off what the person who owns the house had. Run your own quote with someone who's a broker, maybe at Farmers or whatnot. Hit Javier, my guy, if you want to. But home insurance, people are freaking out about that because it was a big all over the place last year, and PG&E prices are going up and up and up. When in Sacramento County, you're on SMUD, Sacramento Municipal Utility District, which is like half the price. And in Roseville, except for one little smidgen of Roseville, you're on Roseville Electric. And so those are the type of things that people were kind of stressing out about. I mean, people don't tend to buy in El Dorado Hills a small little tiny home. So they're buying these like 3,000, 4,000 square foot homes. And those things take a lot of energy to heat and cool. And we haven't even hit the brownouts, and so that's another thing. So those are things just to be aware of. Like I said, very subjective, but on this channel, we give you a little bit to think about. All right, man, missed the conversation a little bit. All right, let's get back here. All right. White cabinets need color elsewhere in the kitchen. Yeah, there's a little bit. And I think two-tone paint needs to be a must as well, too. Agree with you. All right. Thoughts on deed restrictions, an off-market listing hit me in Elk Grove, 3,500 square feet with 626 good shape, valued 800, but has a 30-year restriction. Can be sold to the area. Media income reselling seems hard. Reselling definitely would be hard. Hit me offline, hit me the address, and I can figure it out for you if you want. I won't, I'll sign an NDA just for you. Yeah, but I think resale would be a little bit of a pain. I think you'd have to jump through a lot of hoops for that. All right. What area do you see the MCM love those? Oh, we got like Citrus Heights. You got what's it called? Citrus Heights is a big one for String Brothers. Orangevale, the Fair Oaks area too, a little bit too. But those areas. Now, if you guys really want to get a good clue on mid-century modern, String Brothers, if type in String Brothers, STRENG Brothers, they even have a website. And so they go into almost every area, like Orangevale, like Carmichael and everything too, and they show you exactly the communities that are mid-century modern in the Sacramento area, which is awesome. All right. All right. So we hit the El Dorado thing. Roseville's too crowded, too much traffic, but good shopping. I know the shopping is good. Wait till we get that bougie mall that we were promised in Folsom Ranch. There's going to be more commercial developments. We got Whitney Ranch Retail Center being built as well, too. So there's going to be a whole lot of stuff coming into Sacramento, Rockland, Roseville, Folsom, Elk Grove, too. So there's going to be some shopping for you guys. I think maybe we'll take a little traffic away from Roseville. What do you guys think? Oh, also, if you guys are enjoying the show, smash that like button. Please, just for me, I'd appreciate it. Okay. My PG&E. Okay, now I slowed down. I even started drinking tea for you guys. So I'd be a little slower. My PG&E bill and home insurance have gone way up this year. I'm telling you guys, PG&E is just brutal, and it just keeps going up and up and up. And my SMUD bill stayed the same. All right. How did Roseville, Placer County get their own electricity provider? I don't know. The only thing I will say about that is the fact that some of the new home communities tend to build right by those towers. And Taylor Morrison had a community that built like, it was like half the houses had a view of the electricity plant. It was bizarre. I would think they'd build a little further off, which they're doing now, Omarosa and everything too. All right. With new Rancho homes, with Elk Grove School District, get rezoned for new Folsom Cordova High School, middle school. Nah, I would think they would. And I was actually talking to some new home people about this at TriPoint. I was like, but here's the thing right now, what we're seeing is that in the Rancho area, there's a middle school that's going to be popping up, and then there's going to be a high school as well, too. I think both of those are going to be zoned for Elk Grove Unified. So that could be a little bit of a stopgap there. But here's the thing. I'd say you can also do transfers as well, too. I've had success with transfers. A lot of people have. But at the same time, I think you're going to have, think about this. Every school that they build in the Sacramento area, Roseville, Rockland, wherever. If you look at the school ratings, and, this is subjective, so go to greatschools.org. But it seems that, every school is built brand new. They tend to do the best at greatschools.org, and like I said, it's completely subjective. So if you're getting you're getting a brand new middle school in the Rancho Antola area and a brand new high school, I'm guessing they're going to be pretty good, So I don't know if there's any reason that you'd want to flip over to Folsom, but again, maybe for the sports, maybe something like that. So, but I am looking forward to seeing those new schools. All right. 1+ homes sold in Rancho. Thanks to Mark and Nikki. Yeah, I know. The Canyon, the best. I kid you not. I'm not just saying that. The best elevation that I've seen in a home, bar none. I've always wanted to live in a castle. I'm on SMUD 350 for and blasting my air all month in summer. I know. I'm with you. I'm on SMUD myself, and my house right now in the dead of winter, freezing cold, is rolling at 67. So yeah, I'm good. Like I said, SMUD is such a blessing. MCM also has some in Elk Grove. Yeah, it does, definitely. They're a little bit of like, String Brothers and like all these things. They started building these little areas, little pockets. Maybe they'll start again. Come on, Steve. All right. Just listen to your opinions on Rancho. Rendering plan should have been moved for a new community called Newbridge, but has stalled. Also, there are plans for a new on-ramp between Hazel and Sunrise. Ooh, I like that. Here's the thing. I think that right now infrastructure is being focused on in the Sacramento area where it should have been before we built all these homes. So I look at it and I say to myself, the connector project coming in, I still like the Rancho area. As far as the rendering plant, completely, you gotta go out there and feel it out for yourself. Cause my opinion is going to be about a guy who's gone out there, a whole bunch of times. Cause I've sold a bunch in Rancho. You just got to go out there and just, do your research on it and figure out if that's going to be a deal breaker or not for you. For a lot of people, it's not. For some people, it is. You just got to figure out if it works for you or not. All right. We need the country club area to be redeveloped and revitalized, turned into an eyesore like what happened in the Florida Mall. I know. I know. Oh, I know. Yeah. And how about, yeah, Sunrise Mall. Oof. All right. The new ramps should be from Rancho Cordova Parkway through White Rock Road. It's approved. Sam, honestly, one of these days you're popping on the show. You are the biggest Rancho lover. I'm going to bring you on the show and we're going to talk Rancho, you and me. And you guys send me some of these facts too. Keep the energy up. You're doing great. Thank you. I appreciate it. And like I said, it's been tough. Coffee. This used to be a mug full of coffee, and this was usually my 6th cup by the end of the day. And I've switched. I just have 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and that's it. It's been brutal, but really, I feel a whole lot better. All right. Boom. All right. I should replace my gas furnace and water heater with electric despite PG&E. I would. All right. Sam Lindy's stinky smell running plant still there. You know, you got to go out there and feel it out for yourself. For me, I've gone out there, nothing, but you know, you gotta check it out for yourself. It's very subjective. All right. Boom. They didn't have the castle one, unfortunately, but I would have definitely picked it. I know, huh? I still think your floor plan is smoking. All right. Plant's still there. Moved a couple of months ago. Haven't smelled it yet, but not sure about summer yet. Everyone's got to go out there. Oh, maybe Steve String can build some new MCM communities in Grass Valley. Oh, man, I'd be like, welcome to Grass Valley Real Estate. Yeah. So it's interesting. MCM would be just, I mean, I think here's the thing for me. It's not just MCM. I just want there to be a little variety in our housing styles. I want them to kind of like just do different like elevations, you know. Oh, it'd be nice. Okay. So back. Any thoughts on price drop? Vista de Madera, have someone on the sidelines. Hey, Jason, man, make me an offer at this point. Vista's crazy though. I think the thing with Vista, I look at it, the house is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. You know, it's just, I think that, with Vista, if it was in Serrano, I think it would have gone. I think if it was in Grant Bay, it would have gone as well too. Verdera, Cata Verdera, that whole area, for me, I love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, but it's not as known as those other areas as well too. And it's a little further out there. All right. Haha. I would love to come on. All right. Hit me up. You got my number. Just tell me who you, just say, hey, this is Sam. I would love to bring you on the show, and we would make the entire show about Rancho. I'm not even joking. I kid you not. I think I think that would be so much fun. All right, here, let's get here. Boom. All right, let's go to some Q&A. All right. Here, hold on. All right. Let's talk a little bit about how the market now is doing. Let's do some summary points. Oh, yeah, I'm with you, Mark. Victorian, Southern All Brick, MCM. Yeah. We just need some variety, guys. We can't make all of Sacramento look the same. It would be very, very not good. All right, here we go. Boom. Here's what we're looking at for the Sacramento market in 2026. Home prices slightly down versus last year, stabilizing. Mild growth expected. I sound like a weather reporter. Improved versus pandemic lows, but still moderate. Demand steady, fueled by relocation, affordability relatively to coastal markets. Well, that's an interesting one because a lot of people are like, affordability is such a trigger word here in Sacramento. Okay, affordable, yes, compared to the Bay Area, and affordable compared to like Los Angeles, yes. Affordable comparison to like, you know, Oklahoma City or like Houston, no. So it's definitely relative. All right. Can you help me buy a home in Rancho Marietta? Absolutely. I love Rancho Marietta. Yeah, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you too. You always tune into these podcasts. And honestly, when I see you pop on, it totally makes my evening. You know, I love it. So anything I can do to help you, absolutely. Reach out to me. We'll talk a little bit about what you're looking for. All right, bought a new build in construction in Rancho and Antolia. Nervous about the appraisal. Do new builds in the area appraise okay? Ugh. This is going to be an interesting one. Okay, so we got into a situation maybe about a month ago, right? And this is brutal. Okay, so we got these really nice people into this home at Cressley. It was a model home. Okay, so we got into a model home and we were fine. It was great. It was a model. It was beautiful. Price was great. Everything was fantastic. The salesperson at Cressley, the broker actually in charge, didn't tell the appraiser that it was a model home, supposedly. And that thing came in way below the price for the house, even with the reductions, even with the incentives. And Cressley was not willing to come down even one penny. And so we lost the deal. So I would say, depending on the upgrades, depending on the features you put in the home, I would say just be careful a little bit about that. I think that the builder is going to be rosy and smiley and tell you, "Oh, you're good. You're fine. You should be great." Ask them this. If for some reason we're not, are you willing to negotiate and bring the price down to what it appraises for? Ask them that question point blank and see where it takes you. Because if they can say to you, you know what, look, here's the thing. If it appraises low, we will bring the price down to match it. Then I think you'll be sleeping a whole lot easier. And in my humble opinion, if something appraises low, or I do think that the price should be dropped and that's where it should go. That is I think that that's fair. The builder should definitely do it. So I'll tell you this, talk to the builder and say, what if that happens? If it does, will you drop the price to match what the appraisal is, and see what they say? Absolutely, all brick. Yep. All right. I think wait 2-3 years until the economy approves and see what the new governor looks like for the state. It'll be interesting. It will very much be interesting. California is definitely going to take shape. All right. When I bought my new construction in Rancho, Pulte, the sales agent told me the appraiser will play nice. Will play nice. My appraisal came in $7K above selling price. Coincidence? I think not. Now, okay. So here's the thing about appraising, and this is where it gets a little like weird, I guess you can call it. By the way, smash that like button, guys. Come on. Okay, so here's where it gets weird, right? The appraiser actually gets a copy of what the price on the house is being sold for. So they know ahead of time. And coinky dink, I don't know. Appraisals usually come in exactly at that number. Oh, you paid like $1 million, $321. The appraisal came just at that amount. So it's a little, it's a little suspect, honestly. I think that if you got a third party appraiser, you didn't tell them what the price point on the house was, I think it might come up a little different. But I think that that's what she probably meant, or she, whatever, playing nice. All right. My appraisal just came in. It was spot on. Wasn't the model though. I know models are crazy. And a lot of people ask me about models. Myself, it's just models are hard to gauge, right? Because models are going to be more expensive than the entire community. And if the community is a large one, models are going to, unless, the broker or the salesperson has an item list of every little thing in the house, and they should, this one didn't. So, it's tough. Models would scare me. Other type of homes, I think you're in good shape. Because normally what you see is that in new home communities, they keep kind of increasing the price a little bit too. So you normally are in good shape. Mark, how much does landscaping at the front and back of a new construction home impact evaluation, assuming normal landscaping, grass, retaining walls, but if concrete, nothing too crazy? I think they factor it in. I think that, like I had Amy on here too, and she was like, not as much as stuff that you do with the house. Like she's more worried about square footage, like the roof, like that kind of stuff. As far as the landscaping, I think it'll impact it, but I don't think it'll impact it like hugely, right? Like she was saying something, I think I remember what she said, like a pool doesn't really factor in that much and everything too. So, I'll have her on again too, and we can ask her that question. I just don't think landscaping changes that much of an appraisal. I think what really does is like appliances, a brand new HVAC, brand new roof, those type of things. Those are the ones that really, really impress appraisers. All right. All right. So here we go. Let's get into some fun stuff. Is Sacramento real estate going to be better 2026 than 2025? All right. My opinion is this. I think we got to wait till after the Super Bowl to figure out exactly what's going to happen. I think that if the rates stay somewhat where they are, 6.5 going there, I think we could have almost like exact market we saw this year. So that's kind of what I speculate. But at the same time, for me, I think that there's a big one in May. I think for me, if I was thinking that rates are going to drop because there's going to be Jerome Powell is going to be out, I would much rather purchase a home and then refi when, someone else came in for Jerome Powell, if that was my way of thinking. But other than that, for me, I think that, 2005, 2006 are going to be a little bit of the same type of market we're going to be in. Unless, of course, Black Swan event happens or something crazy happens. I think that that's kind of what we're in for. I just don't see a lot of things happening in our future that are just going to impact the real estate market. I think we're going to be steady where we are, and it's going to be looking a lot like 2025. Again, I could be wrong. After the Super Bowl, things could crazily pick up. And on the show, I will tell you straight up that I was wrong. But at the same time, I think that the market's going to be similar to what it was last year. Again, the only thing is Jerome Powell leaving in May could be very impactful, but it might just be a blip like we've seen before. So don't know. What do you guys think? Is 2026 going to be kind of the same as 2025? Do you guys think it's going to be better, or do you guys think it's going to be worse? Yeah, right. Let's get some questions. Look like we're headed back up. That's great. That's great. Good for Trump. You guys are making me laugh. All right. Who's looking to sell and buy when stock market has big decline like 2008? That's when California real estate will be bargaining again. A worse wreck than 2008 will be here soon. It'll be shopping time again. I myself don't think that there's going to be a crash coming. I think there's too many fail safes in the market. I also think, and it was so funny. I was talking to this one person. They're like, I think, don't you think that Sacramento, you guys are just building too much and there's not enough people to move into these houses? I mean, if you look at these new home communities, there's a lot of people buying these houses and there's a lot of people moving in. A lot of people, we've moved into new homes. So there are new communities coming to Sacramento, Toll Brothers. We got Taylor and Rancho, Taylor and Folsom. We got Shawood in, Roseville. There's a bunch of new communities. We got Delta Shores. We got a whole bunch of areas that they're building more and more. Lincoln, Liberty, and everything too. So all these builders, all these communities, there are a good number of these homes that are already purchased, already lived in. The kids are already going to school, and we're going. So expect more of that probably in 2026. It's going to be interesting though. All right, mine. I think the market is going to struggle a little more. So much chaos in the world right now. Yeah, I gotta say, it is a crazy world when, we just don't know what, I'm going to call them tweets, whatever, something's going to happen. Yeah, if we're going to be in war, I'll say there are going to be a lot of those things probably happening this year. Hopefully they don't impact too much, but yeah, I'm not really our economy. I'm just not feeling it as far as 2026. Man, love listening to all your insight and provide. Again, tie towards the end. Let me try that again. Man, love listening to all the insight you provide. Got to give you a call soon. Absolutely, Sam. And you will be on the show. I would love to talk a little Rancho with you. I think the market is going to struggle. Yeah, with you straight up. I'd like to help you run the poll when you ask that question. All right. I like it. LGI in the house. LGI, good builder up in Plumas Lake and Linda. If I was going to Linda, you can get yourself a nice big old house for like 3s and 4s. Oof, big backyard. I think this year we'll see more realistic pricing from sellers. Oh, Jason, nail on the head. I just want sellers to price correctly. You're okay. And I should have said this back. You totally got me on the tangent right now too. Seller pricing. If sellers can be a little bit more realistic on their pricing, that could turn the market. I hopefully that'd be great. I'm getting tired of being on the market for 150 days. Well, here's the interesting thing, and this is going to be really crazy. The fact that there are so many people right now, almost every realtor I know that's a good, has at least 5 or 6 to 10 listings, and they're waiting for the end of March, April to list. They're getting the houses ready. They've already got the photos and they're ready to go. So around that time, you're probably going to see a flood of listings hitting the market. Everyone's going to be surprised by this. There's no surprise to it. It's just that a lot of people were like, I'd much rather sell my house for a higher price point. And their agent said in spring, which is historically true, wait till spring and they're going to list. So there's a ton of these houses. If pricing is correct, it could flip the market into a good point where the market is flying. If pricing is incorrect, we could be tanking again, just like we did in 2025. So hopefully we see. I'm with you, Jason. I want to see realistic prices. I want to see all my buyers out there, all my sellers out there. I want to see everybody win in this market. But it just seems like sellers are like, I'm getting too little for my home. And buyers are like, prices are way too high. I'm not paying that. Hopefully we can meet middle ground. Everyone wins. All right. Boom. Speaking of Super Bowl, who you got? Man, after the Niners got blown out, it just bummed me out. It's so funny. A guy, a really nice guy that I moved in up in Folsom, named Nick. He's a big Seahawks fan, and he was like, he was talking a whole lot of trash on IG, and I was just laughing because he's a hardcore Seahawks fan. So, got to give it up. We got schooled, but Purdy played his heart out. Mark, isn't 50 days normal? People got to use cover era selling normal for Sacramento, 30 plus days. Last year I'd say like, our days went higher. I would say right now, if you aggressive pricing, you can probably get rid of the home pretty fast, but no one's pricing aggressive. And that's why our days in the market increased like 30 plus. I mean, last year, towards the beginning of the year, we weren't at 30 plus. We were lower than that. So I just think the idea, our days on the market just started going higher and higher and higher. Number one, because we kept seeing the same inventory recycled. Number two is sellers just didn't want to reduce prices. Now, I do think at El Dorado Hills, because of all that stuff happening that was happening in El Dorado Hills, I think sellers did get a little nervous and started dropping their pricing. And that's why their days on the market actually decreased. So I don't know. It is going to be interesting, but days on the market in Sacramento should be, I don't know, somewhere probably around in the 20s somewhere. All right, we're done paying top dollar for. I said what I said. Ha, nice. Hey, and that's it. That's a buyer mentality. And do I blame them? No, I think buyers have gotten kicked in the teeth a lot. I think, everyone's been waiting for low interest rates, prices to drop. And, I think sellers were expecting that interest rates would drop and their houses would sell for top dollar. And yeah, I get it. But that's a very common sentiment right now in the market. All right, we're moving to Thomas Park. 2 years ago, everything that went on the market was gone immediately. Yep. Now we have houses in my area sitting on the market for months. They get removed without selling. It's a big change. Yeah, it is. And I think North Lake has a big impact on that. I think Natomas got soft. I don't know what it was. I really, really don't. I don't know. Hopefully that does change because I do like Natomas. I think the area is nice. I think that one Beezer community, the Cove, is such a cute community as well too. All right, nice home prices, worth it. Garbage pass by. Do they have HOAs? Which one are you talking about? Sorry about that. Too many questions coming my way. Yeah, here's the thing. If a nice home, worth it. And that's the thing I think too. I think the thing is that you have to have aggressive pricing. The market's going to dictate pricing, but I think you have a lot of realtors right now that probably shouldn't be doing real estate. And I'm seeing that a lot. I went to this one thing today. It was a Toll Brothers and everyone was listening to someone talk about the market. And that's fine. That's good. But at the same time, if you're a realtor and you're working in the Sacramento market, you shouldn't need anyone to tell you how the market is doing. You should be able to analyze the statistics and kind of gauge it based on your conversations. So for me, I'm always kind of like, I'm looking at these people kind of look at like, someone tell them about the market and I'm going like, it's like, it's like what? Tom Brady going to quarterback school. It's like, you should know your stuff if you're a realtor in this area, especially if you're working with people, moving them into homes or selling their homes. You shouldn't be waiting for someone else to tell you what the market is like. Like for me, I know exactly how the market's doing. So for me, like I would think that every realtor should know that stuff, but a lot don't. So, and that's a little depressing. All right. Go to the next question. All right. Buy into 300K range because it's all I can afford. I'd say if you're looking 300K, I'd say that Plumas and Linda and Plumas Lake are good spots. I think you can go Cressley. I think LGI is in the 300s as well too. I think those areas are up and coming as well too. I think the price point is good. You can get a brand new home and you don't have to have that tiny little house that you might get here in Sacramento that's older. All right. Fastest growing area. Makes sense. Folsom is landlocked. What do you guys think? What is the fastest growing area here in the Sacramento area? This Roseville, I don't know why it's not an option. I have no regrets at all buying a home here. I think, okay, here's the thing for me. I think new home areas, I think West Roseville for sure is the fastest growing spot for new homes straight up. I think a combination of everything, Elk Grove. Elk Grove is just on fire. Elk Grove is just growing and growing and growing. And I just don't see it stopping anytime soon. All right. Is West Roseville going to be one of the top spots in 2026? The new Costco on Baseline with 400 fuel pumps is a game changer. Everyone is so high on West Roseville. I get why. West Roseville is on fire right now, guys. The communities, the houses, the builders, the options and everything too. West Roseville really, really, really is fantastic. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Familiar with Lathrop and homes in the river community? Not as much, but here's the thing for me. Um, if you give me a week, I can pull out some numbers, pull up some research, ask me some questions about if you want to, just hit me with some questions and I'll prep for next week. Love doing that stuff. HOA in Natomas Park. No. Do you have an HOA in Natomas Park? I believe they do. Someone on my team lived there, so I can find out for you. Yep. So yes, we have okay. That could be the person on my team. No, yeah, a person on my team actually lived in Natomas Park, and then they sold and they moved up to Folsom. But I do believe that in HOA. I think in Natomas Park, is that the one with like you have swimming pools and everything too? Let me know in the comments. All right. To the next. Boom. And guys, any communities, like I said, you want me to video and everything too. I already have a list growing of stuff you guys have already told me. Communities, areas, and I want to go a little further. So I'm probably going to Plumas Lake, to Linda, Grass Valley. I want to see some other spots and kind of make it like add other options to what we got here. I'm still going to be doing El Dorado Hills, Folsom, and all that stuff. I'm going to do a lot of Sacramento proper, but I want to give you guys even more content. So if you guys have ideas, let me know. And this is the kind of stuff I live for. Sad, but true. Okay. So what we got? Who thinks that the market is overpriced in the Sacramento area? Permits, materials, labor is expensive. Homes are fairly priced. The dollar isn't worth beep. That's the problem. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think Sacramento right now, the hardest part is if you are from Sacramento and you saw the increase of like 200,000 that we had since COVID, you're definitely gonna be like, yeah, there's just no way. It's way overpriced. If you're someone coming in from San Francisco or Los Angeles, you're gonna say, I want 3 of them. If you're someone coming in from like a Texas or Florida, you're probably going to look at our prices and say, that's a lot more than I'm paying over here. So I just think it depends on where you're coming from. For me, I still, because I grew up in Marin County, the Bay Area, I still look at Sacramento as being very affordable. I still think of like what you get in Sacramento is amazing. I love the idea that we're close to the snow. I think, we have good food scene here. I think the people are really amazing. I think you got new home options here that you don't have in other areas. So for me, at least, like, I think Sacramento is worth it. I think Sacramento is an amazing spot to live. I'm like, I'm just, I don't know. For me, I'm super impressed by Sacramento and what you get for your money here. I think we're growing. And I think once interest rates dip just a little bit, I think we're back, and last year, yes, it was a kind of like a stable year. I guess you can call it, like no ups, no downs. But at the same time, you look at areas like Houston, Las Vegas, and everything too, they're hurting. Sacramento is still a great market. We got a great location. Infrastructure is being built. Top Golf in Natomas. You got the new surf park being in West Roseville. You got the connector project. 50 is going to be completed this year. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going for us, guys, and I'm super grateful to live here. I appreciate the area. And we get seasons. A lot of people think Sacramento is 120 degrees all year long. No, it is not. Right now, it is freezing and foggy. I know, weird Sacramento weather. Yep. Yes. Nice clubhouse with pools and generally don't bother you. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard Natomas Park is really, really nice. All right. Who thinks Sacramento market is overpriced? Who thinks the market is overpriced in the Sacramento area? No way. It's overpriced compared to the rest of California. Agreed. Entire housing market worldwide after COVID is overpriced. Agreed again. Sacramento is still affordable compared to everywhere else. This is not a Sacramento issue, more of a worldwide issue. I agree 100%. The hardest thing for me is that, a lot of people who grew up in this area, like let's say you lived in Sacramento and you bought your house for $250 or $250,000, right? And then all of a sudden after COVID, you see a house next door to you and it's going for like $500,000. One, you're going to say, great, I can sell my house for that. But two, you're going to start like looking at houses in other areas if you want to move. And you're going to say, I'm not going to pay that. There's no way. I bought my house for $250,000. So I do think there's a little bit of a reality check for a lot of Sacramento people who grew up here and saw that price. And I think that is happening nationwide. I think people are just seeing this new price tag on houses that maybe like 4 or 5 years ago were $200,000 less. And it's just one of those things that makes everything a lot more unaffordable. But again, you compare it to other places like the Bay Area and Los Angeles, we're still in really, really good shape. Boom. All right. But you mentioned Sacramento is affordable. When I tell people I moved from Hawaii here because it's affordable, they look at me like I was crazy. I've got a few people that moved in from Hawaii. I always joke with this one friend, Andy, who moved in. And I'm like, some people call Elk Grove the Honolulu of Sacramento. It's a joke, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Sacramento, again, I love Sacramento. Like, I'm not even saying like, you know, I moved here, yes, for affordability, but before I even, I wouldn't move to a place just for affordability. Like I moved into Sacramento, one, because it was one of the options. I came to Sacramento, I explored Sacramento, I fell in love with Sacramento. It's a great spot to live. The diversity of stuff you can do here, people are really, really fun. I don't know. For me, there's other areas like Fair Oaks that I love checking out, like Curra Downs, I don't know, American River, Sacramento River, Folsom Lake, mountain biking, hiking, skiing, snowboarding, wine tasting. I don't know. For me, Sacramento, there's a lot that I love about Sacramento, and there's a lot I still need to explore in Sacramento. So I love the area. And for you guys out there who don't know about Sacramento, maybe we're watching this going, I don't know about, you should definitely come out for a weekend and take a look at it. But I will say this, if you come out for the weekend and you explore Sacramento and you want to see the downtown area, go to Midtown. Okay. I would say if you want to check out Folsom, I would say go down East Bidwell and hit like the older Folsom area by the water, which is really, really beautiful. I would say like check out like Greenview up in El Dorado Hills and Serrano. That's another one. I'd say go to Verdera, one of my favorite communities as well too. There's so many little places that you can go to fall in love with this area. Go to the Pocket. Beautiful. Go to East Sacramento, go to the Fab 40s. There's so many spots that will just make you straight up fall in love with Sacramento. All right. I have a 1936 home going to sell. These type of homes have to, let me start all over. I have a 1936 home going to sell. Do these type of homes have to check all the same boxes as new homes does, or does the age give them some grace in terms of fixing everything before selling? Nah, it gives them a little bit of grace. A lot of people, when they're buying a home for 1936, I kid you not, we have this one house on Severine. It's called Severine Manor, and it was built in 1936. Seriously. And the people who looked at the house and everything too, they're like, I like quirky houses. I love this. All the little things about the house just made it like special. It was just something that you don't see in Sacramento, because as we said on this channel a lot, there's a lot of tract homes and everything too. And to find something 1936, 1920, I mean, that's cool. And so what you're going to notice is a lot of people will understand that going into a house that's built in 1936, you're probably going to have to do some work. You're going to have to do some maintenance on the homes as well too. So there is a little bit of that flexibility. All right. From being from River City, there's hardly anything going on at the rivers, like San Antonio Riverwalk. It's shabby with with the same two riverfront restaurants. Almost people like riverfront views. Oh man, it's not making me want to go there. Mark, please explain what just a permit costs here. I checked. I was stunned. The enormous just building permits and fees. So buying an established good condition home is worth the money. Oh yeah. The crazy part is I run into people all the time also who like have houses and they're trying to sell, right? And they have maybe like 1,000 square feet of like unpermitted space. Oh man. It's like really walking on eggshells with that as well too. There's so many people who in certain areas have just built these additions that were just not permitted. A lot of them are like, oh yeah, my contractor told me they're up to code. It's not a good path to go down. But permitting cost is expensive. I don't know the exact cost, but I'll bring something for you. Let me cut and paste this so I can remember. I'll bring permitting costs for you guys next week. Yeah, it is pretty pricey. But okay, now here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Would you guys much rather get out of your 2.75s and jump into like a 6.25 and buy a bigger home? Or would you much rather take a little money out, get the permit, and build a couple extra bedrooms or an addition to your house? For me, I mean, I live in Gold River, so there's no way that's happening. But I will tell you one thing, though. For me, what I'm seeing is a lot of people taking money out of their 2.75s and building additions, and they're sucking it up and dealing with the permits. All right. Sacramento International Airport is expanding and improving. Hopefully, those two words, expanding and improving. I've seen so many airports, like the San Francisco International Airport, they're like, we're expanding, and they didn't improve. So hopefully we keep to that whole, because one of the things I tell people about Sacramento Airport, it is simple, it is easy, it is a fantastic airport. Now a little foggy, but yeah, hopefully they keep it simple, smooth, because one of the things is back in the day I used to go to the Oakland airport. It was so nice, and now they created such a mess over there. Hopefully Sacramento International Airport stays nice, simple, and just easy to access and everything too. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the airport. All right, I moved here from Long Island, New York. God. Long Island, 2 years ago. And they're 11 degrees right now and getting a foot of snow this weekend. So I really love Sac right now. Laugh out loud. I know, I know. And I was complaining. My wife and I were talking. She's like, "Oh my God, it was freezing last night." And I'm like, "Oh man, we don't know freezing. Freezing ain't in Sacramento. It's cold, it's chilly. Freezing, no, that ain't here." All right. Went to visit Anatolia Homes, beautiful area and affordable, but I was reading in Google that it smells bad mostly during summertime. Is that true? For me, I've been out there showing a lot of homes during summer, during winter, during spring and everything too. I haven't come across it. I would say one is um it's just a hard thing to gauge because it's so subjective. Some people I run into are like, "Yeah, it smells." Some people are like, "It's not bad." I don't even know what people are freaking out about. Just a hard thing to kind of jump into because, um, I've just never really I don't have that the digital evidence to show you. So yeah, I'd say, unless you're looking to buy right now, this instant, I would say maybe waiting a little bit towards summertime or maybe even going driving by that rendering plant and taking a look at it and seeing what that looks like. That might be something for you to look at. I've never gone to the rendering plant myself. But that is definitely something that people talk about in that area 100%. And it's hard to get a straight answer. I know from me, I'm not giving you one either, but it's just one of those things where I can't really give you any evidence towards it or against it because myself, would I live in Anatolia? I mean, based on me going out there, yeah, totally. I mean, that would just be me. But I guess it's up to you to kind of just figure out you know, if it smells, how bad it smells, if it's something for you that is going to impact your decision. And there's just no, like I said, I can't give you a definitive yes or no on this because, I just really haven't experienced it in it the way I can say, I can't really verbalize it. I guess that's what I'm saying. All right. Northgate Boulevard, the brand new Starbucks open near business coming on Boulevard is changing for the better. Yeah. Yep. Things are growing. All right. Also, I'm afraid the schools are too far from Anatolia, like in Elk Grove. I have specific need child and soon to be a high schooler. Well, here's the thing. One thing I will tell you about that area is they are building a brand new elementary or middle school over there too, and they plan on building a high school right after that. And those are going to be right in the Anatolia area. Boom, boom, boom. Dun, dun, dun. Also, here's the thing, Wendy, if you want to, feel free, and here's my number. All right, here's my direct number as well too. Feel free to give me a call and I can tell you a little bit about what other people's experience has been living in the Anatolia area, the pros and the cons and everything. And here's the thing, it's no obligation. Do your thing. And I can tell you a little bit about experiences that I've run into with people moving into the area, the pros and cons and all that stuff too. But as far as the schools go, the middle school is already underway. It's just about ready to get its permitting, or it's got its permitting. It just hasn't broken ground yet. And then the high school is supposed to follow right after that. And those are supposed to be both in the Elk Grove Unified School District. All right. And I apologize if I'm seeming a little clamoring. It's already an hour and 33 minutes. And I'm still going. All right. Is all of Antelope smud? So the people in new homes and Watt may avoid PG&E. I believe all Antelope is smud. If it's in Sacramento County, it's going to be. The only thing is, I'm wondering if there's even a piece of Antelope that might be in Roseville Electric. I don't believe anything in Antelope is in PG&E. Yeah. All right. For new builds, do you recommend a pre-drywall inspection or a drywall inspection? Or is a drywall inspection good enough? For new builds, do you recommend a pre-drywall inspection or is a drywall inspection good enough? I would say if you go to the drywall after it's put up, if you do they do infrared scanning to scan for moisture, that'd be the only thing that I'd really, really be worried about. Bum, bum, bum. Depends on the house area. Oh yeah. Okay. So clarification also for electric. Okay. So here's how it works. If you live in a city suburb that's in Sacramento County, you're on SMUD. Okay. If you live in Roseville, except for there's a little piece of Roseville, kind of like, there's a little kind of area of Roseville, a tiny little community that's not on Roseville Electric, but that's the only part that's on PG&E. Everything else outside of Roseville and outside of Sacramento County is going to be on PG&E, including West Sacramento. So hopefully that answers your questions. Boom. Yeah. Okay. So for this, I said, like, go get infrared scanning. The only thing I'd be worried about is moisture. Um, dun. Now, here's the thing, though, too. Okay, let's go back to this. I think if you are allowed to do pre-drywall inspections, for me, I've worked with a lot of people. I haven't run into really any issues, honestly, with pre-drywall inspections. But if it was me, I would probably do both. If you're talking about when the builder comes in and lets you do both, I would probably do both. For me, though, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because, like anything else, everything is mass produced when you produce it, but they have so many checks and balances as well, too. Missy, let me know which builder you're talking about as well, too. I know that sounds weird. Builder and community. All right. Depending on the house area, whether I would take money out on my home. Okay. Yeah. I mean, for me, at this point in time, if I live somewhere like a Fair Oaks, right, where I didn't have a crazy HOA, I would probably, at this point, if I needed more space, I'd probably build out my home. I'd probably take it out and then just add on, as opposed to jumping into the market and jumping into like a 6 point something interest rate. Now, if interest rates drop, all bets are off. All right. Are the Melloreos and the HOAs in Anatolia? The HOAs are relatively small. I mean, it's like $25, $50. I haven't seen any big HOAs there. Melloreos hover between like 250 to like, some of the wood sides have all the way up to like 450. So that's kind of what the Melloreos looks like. And it does depend on the, house size you get as well, too. So that's kind of what it looks like. Wasn't too impressed with the new Pulte homes in Lincoln. A bit overpriced. A location just felt older and meh. You know where I will tell you Pulte really shined? They shined in Roseville and they shined in Rancho. I got to check them out in Lincoln, so I don't know. But I'd love to see Pulte come to Folsom. The ton, give me hope. New builds in Folsom. Overpriced location. Hope for new builds in Folsom coming up. Yeah. Taylor Morrison's going to build a community just like they did. It's probably going to be the same one, because here's the thing. If you guys went to the Taylor community that just kind of like on the tail end of building, they had another one that was identically like that, and it was on the other side of Bidwell. And so now they're going to probably have an exact same 3 collections in another part of Folsom Ranch too. So that's going to be fun. All right. Thanks. Not a problem. Really appreciate all the great information you share. Thank you so much as always. Hey, no problem. I appreciate you guys also tuning in. If you could smash that like button. And I do apologize, after about an hour, I, get a little bit like dry mouth and everything too. So I'm trying my best. If you guys have any questions, just throw them out there. And if I don't answer them here, honestly, feel free to reach out to me. You got my phone number. Feel free to send me a text. You will never get an upsell. You'll never get oh my God, this. You'll always get me talking to you and blabbing, just like I do on the show, about any question you have about the Sacramento area. A lot of times people will call me up. They'll ask me questions. I won't even ask a name. I'll just give them some information, and there we go. So understand that what I say on the show, I really do back up with a phone call if I need to explain it further. Or maybe you got to check me on some information I gave out and you said, hey, Mark, you said this about Anatolia, but that's not right. So let me know. And, I want to make this show better for you guys. All right. Boom. TriPoint is a builder. I've had good, I've actually had very, very good stuff with TriPoint. I haven't had really any qualms. I'd say TriPoint, for me, I think they're solid. But again, here's the thing. You're buying a home. It's it's a very pricey home. And if you feel comfortable doing the inspection pre and after, I would go for it if the builder is okay with it as well too. Bringing in your also third-party inspector, you might even be able to get like a deal where they go in before and they also go in after, maybe 3 or 4 inspections during the whole process for your peace of mind. Now, understand the TriPoint comes with a 10-year structural, right? And it also comes with a year fit and finish. So just that's something to keep in mind. But for me, if you want to do an inspection on your new home, and if you want to do 30 new inspections on your new home, I think you should. I think for me, it's more about peace of mind. It's all about feeling like everything's good. And if that's going to get you there, I think that, you should be allowed to. Some builders are really adamant on you not doing inspections. And they do one of those things where they're like, well, we do 50 checks and then we have to get this and we have to get this and everything too. So that's why we don't allow inspections. I've never understood the idea that if you buy a resale home, you're like legally, you have in the inspection contingency, you get an inspection. But if you buy a new home, half the builders are saying, we don't even allow you to do an inspection on a home that you're going to get from us. I mean, I don't understand how legally they can actually stop you from doing an inspection on a home that you're purchasing. So again, that's my rant. But again, going back, Missy, I would say if you feel comfortable doing inspections, I would say the more the merrier. Something that, you know, they might miss something. I mean, everyone's human and they're mass producing these homes. How's the market for $400,000 homes in North Highlands? I'd say you're pretty good. I'd say 400, you could probably get like a nice 3 and 2, you know? All right. I'm going to visit West Roseville this Saturday. Is there any specific area you recommend? I've never been there before, so I don't really know where I'm going. Wendy, one is feel free to give me a call. I can give you a little bit of a tour map. And I understand, no obligation. Don't have to work with me. I will give you a little bit of an idea where to go to. Now, I'll give you a little bit of an idea for new homes, right? They're building out a whole bunch of different areas. They got Fittyman over there. They got Amorosa. They've got Winding Creek as well, too. I would also check out Placer One as well, too, while you're out there. Now, Amorosa is going to be where they have the higher Mellorews. Winding Creek, I would say take a look at maybe, I don't know, maybe some Woodside homes, depending on what price point you're looking at as well, too. If you're looking at something like in the 600s, I think one of the wild, the Woodside homes and Tri Points have decent homes in the 600, good homes. I would say 600s, you're probably looking at Beezer as well, too. It's Solaire, I think, or close to there. Where else would I look? I think Richmond American also has a good community. I'd look at Pulte. Pulte's not bad over there as well, too. Those are some of the communities I would probably hit. I would say also, since for you, you mentioned the schools are a big thing. One of the things I noticed about Roseville is that there's 2 school districts. There's Center and there's Roseville City. And I would say just look at greatschools.org and see which one works better for you. And that really will eliminate almost half the new home building in West Roseville. And I'd say just like, you know, look around. JMC is a fantastic builder as well out there too. We've been having really good luck with JMC. They also do landscape backyards. So, you know, they're a pretty good builder. But I would start also by going to greatschools.org and just looking at the difference of the school districts. And that will eliminate a lot of the builders because, I mean, it looks like schools are something that you're looking for. Hopefully that helped. All right. What about Prop 13 and 19? Are they staying put? You never know. You never know. But I'd love to talk about those. Maybe next episode. Yeah, let me cut and paste this. Or maybe next episode we'll bring a little bit of conversation. I'm also bringing Michelle from my team next week on the show. We're going to talk a little East Sacramento. All right. VA won't let you buy without an inspection. Isn't that crazy? I see, and that's the thing. Interesting. Okay, I don't know how that factors into new homes though. Yeah, no, you're totally right. Thank you. Okay, that's going to be a really good argument to get you guys some inspections on these builders that don't allow it. Ooh, I like that. All right, take a look at Sierra Vista and West Roseville. Inspiration Village is peaceful and a harmonious community. I like that. I like that area too. Hearing about any communities similar to Double S Ranch in Folsom or Rancho. I'm not hearing about any Double S type of ranch I'm not hearing about any of them in Rancho. In Folsom, I've heard little grumblings that Taylor Morrison might have bigger lots of land, but nothing I can confirm 100%. If I do, though, it'll be on the Wednesday show. I promise you that. Thank you so much, Mark. I'll contact you before my trip to Roseville. Absolutely. And like I said, I can plan a fantastic tour for you. So I do that all the time. All right. Thanks, Mark. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in, Lori. All right. Anything on Shawood, Roseville? Where would they build? I will actually be going up to see Cameron probably in a couple of days, and I'll find out a little bit more about Roseville, where they're planning on building. I'll see if I can even get some info on Lincoln as well, too. So hopefully I'll have that for you for next show. All right. Boom. Boom. And actually, let me cut and paste this comment so I remember, because after these shows, I'm a little drained. All right. Boom. Do you think there's enough demand for homes in North Highland area? Or was it going on the Roseville going to depress demand? No, I think here's the thing about North Highland. I think the price point is good. I don't think you're going to find anything really in Roseville for like 400s. I mean, it's hard even to find anything in Antelope for that. So I think if you could find something in North Highland, maybe 450 and everything too, you're going to understand that, like, you know, all the stuff that's happening in the West Roseville area is going to benefit areas like Antelope and West and North Highlands as well too. So no, I think it'd be fine. No inspection, pre-drywall after, no purchase, no way. There we go. I'm with you. Like I said, it's mind-boggling to me that um, that builders don't allow you to do those. I mean, there's so many builders. Like Lennar doesn't allow you to do it. All right, let's go here. Boom. Thinking about moving to Sacramento. Love these homes. Okay, I did some home tours on Canyon last week. Some of my favorite floor plans in Rancho for sure. Is Rancho Cordova going to be one of the top spots in 2026? The police department and lack of high-speed movement holds the city back, but they're working on both those things. So, you know, you never know. Fastest growing area, Elk Grove has done all the growth with no DMV. You guys are cracking me up with the comments. Okay, one last thing, then I'm going to let you guys go for the evening. This is my real estate. No, we're getting into some polls. Okay, so horror stories. I'm going to tell you this, guys. You know, if you're looking for a realtor, and I'm not even going to put my name in the ring, throw my hat in the ring for this. I'm going to tell you something, guys. Vet the people you're working with. I'm right now in a transaction for this home in Folsom that we listed, and the realtor is literally gone MIA. She's disappeared off the map. And her client that she's working with, well, their earnest money is pretty much gone. And right now, we don't even know if the deal is going to happen because of basically her lack of communication. So when you're looking for a realtor, look for like someone who has good communication skills, has a good track record, who's diligent, but the communication is a huge, huge factor. This isn't a market for part-time realtors. And I hate to be mean about this, but it's just the truth. You got to be all in. You got to be able to like just give service. You have to be able to commit yourself. How we run our team is a little different. You know, like you'll always meet myself and the team member, and we have two people where we have kind of like, you know, if I'm at a dentist, you got someone else covering and everything too. A lot of these big teams, they're going to have one big name of the realtor. You'll never meet the realtor. You'll never even know the realtor exists. There'll be this fictitious realtor, and they'll be covered by like, you know, it's too much. So there's no good communication. The other thing too is in this transaction that I've been in as well too, we've been dealing with Bank of America. And I don't like to throw out anything negative, but when you're involved in a transaction, it's really hard to work with a company that's a 9-to-5 company. They don't really communicate on Saturdays and Sundays. And at 5 o'clock, even if they're located somewhere else in the United States, they're gone and there's no communication at all too. So when you're in this market and it's like, you know, you're seeing something you really, really love, just make sure that whoever you're working with really has your back in the transaction. Make sure you have a good lender. Make sure you have a good realtor that really is giving you the service you deserve. It's we're lucky to have you guys reach out to us and work with us. Understand that what we do for a living as real estate agents, we're in a service industry. We're here to make sure that you guys get your house sold or purchase the house you want to. It's about you. It's about your journey. So don't get caught up into something where you're thinking to yourself, you know, I'm with this person. They're not really doing a good job for me. Fire them and move on to someone who can actually help you, because this is a huge purchase and you shouldn't settle for second best. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. And it's mainly based on this transaction that I got going on right now. And I just needed an event. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Smash that like button for me if you could. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This is a fantastic show. I enjoyed it. I will see you guys on Wednesday. And on Friday, I'm dropping a video on this new house that we're listing. It was built in, it's actually two homes, a carriage house built in 1920 and the manor house built in 1936. It's a fantastic tour. It's going to be very, very fun. I'm bringing a friend of mine on this tour as well too. And then next Wednesday, I'll be bringing on Michelle from my team, where we're going through Sacramento proper, street by street. For all you people who love East Sacramento, Land Park, Arden, Sierra, all those things too. We're going to talk about that stuff. Guys, hopefully enjoy the show until I see you next time. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. Buying and selling is stressful. I mean, there are definitely different avenues you can go in, and there's no guarantee. Every property is different, whether you're looking to buy it or sell it. So reach out to our team and we can talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of selling currently, what your house is valued at, and all that stuff too. There's a link below to schedule a call. Now, if you're thinking about moving to the area, guys, reach out to our team as well. We're working with a lot of people relocating them to the Sacramento area. We absolutely love it. There's a Zoom link below. Set up a time where we can talk to you a little bit about what your needs are. Now, if you enjoyed this live broadcast, smash that like button. We would love to talk to you a little bit about Sacramento. I mean, we always are out and about. So if you're looking at places like El Dorado, Roseville, Rockland, Davis, we got you covered. Just reach out to us. And maybe you don't want to do a Zoom call, so just hit me at my phone number on the banner and we can talk a little Sacramento. Now, guys, one last thing before I go. There's a playlist right over there. of other videos I've done about the Sacramento area. Knowledge is power. Those videos will help you kind of make a decision if Sacramento is that spot for you and you want to take it to the next stage. All right, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Remember, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next video.